Whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, I got my boots on the ground. Hey, 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 where the things at? Welcome back to another Conversations and Culture. We are here in Nairobi, Kenya. We have an amazing guest today. I'm gonna let her introduce herself. You guys are gonna walk with us to one of her favorite places here in Kilimani.
That's right, we're in Kilimani.
We're in Kilimani.
Yeah.
Please tell us who you are.
Well, my name is Robyn Emerson.
Yeah.
And I am from Austin, Texas. Well, that was my last port of call. I was born in New Jersey, reared in Kentucky, and then grew up in Austin, Texas.
Yes, and as we said before, we're here in Kilimani, so I want y'all to walk with me. But before then, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe, because you're not gonna get any information anywhere else but on Traverze Culture. Let's go. Tell me why you like this area.
Let's see here. Well, I could probably start by saying what I don't like about it.
That's always good.
Because there's a lot that's happening here that's kind of unorganized or disorganized.
Uh-huh.
But it is home for the 20 plus years. For the most part, I have called Kilimani home for me.
Wait a minute, stop. Did y'all hear that? 20 plus years. She's the real OG, for real.
Yeah, and this has been home, Kilimani. I came here, I lived here early 2005, and I've invested in this area. I've invested in this community, not financially, just financially, but building a community, taking a stake in how it looks and how it develops and how it grows. And so I call it mine. Come on. It was just like that, you see?
Yeah.
That was, yeah, so this is my home, Kilimani. So I've seen all the changes. I've, talked to the people responsible for this being still like this and that being still like that. Kind of demanding more for all Nairobians to have a city that works and one that is safe and effective. So Kilimani is home. Kilimani is home.
Yeah. So tell me some of the things that you love about Kilimani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be the intangibles. It'll be the family that I've created with my husband and our children. It'll be the community members. It'll be my neighbors that, the boundaries have been crossed of Miss Robyn to Auntie Robyn.
Yes.
It'll be all of those things are what I love about Kilimani. In this area, my husband and I and some other concerned people in the area started a community foundation.
You have.
That started also by some of us just in our back garden calling the head teacher of Kilimani Primary. It was a time when things were just happening around us so fast, and we started asking each other, had you been called to a meeting telling you why this road was being done? Or had you been called to why this building is happening? And we started, none of us have been called, but all of these rapid changes are happening without our involvement, without our inclusion. So we said, well, how do we come together and try to have our say, interject our say in what's happening around us? And again, that was after the Constitution, the new Constitution in 2010. And we started, the Constitution, people flouted as one of the most progressive constitutions, not just in Africa, but around the world.
Wow.
And it has a lot of information about public participation. The power rests with the people. As you may have heard during the Mandamanos recently, the demonstrations. Yeah. Young people flouting, the people shall, right? And that's what the Constitution says, the people shall. And so in those early days at the beginning, and so we really saw hope in that Constitution, that it was going to be the breath of people taking greater responsibility and having greater say. And so we said, well, a foundation, may be a platform in which we can bring people together. But one of the things that we really have to really face is that just having something on paper giving you freedom is not the same thing as you picking that thing up and activating it and utilizing it and using it to its full potential.
I love this place, by the way.
Yes, this is one of my spots. This is my favorite corner right here, and it's every time I come, I see a Kilimani that has changed and transformed. Sometimes I almost want to cry.
Wow.
Because I have seen...
You've invested a lot of your time.
I've seen... I mean, a lot of these things that are happening here, they're unsustainable. They're going to have an impact. Are they having an impact on people's mental and physical well-being? Our infrastructure really can't sustain and hold all of these changes in such a way that is sustainable and well thought out. So, I mean, as much as I do stuff on the ground, when I come up here and I get this different view, you know, I just think about all of the different people, the small people I can see walking, the people at the banda over there, the lady over there selling fish and trying to make a living every day. I can see Yaya and where they've come for many years, and now this thing is transforming. It's opening up. It was blocked for years, but I see now that they're transforming. I love to see Timmy over here in the red dress. When I look over here and I see her, I'm like, yeah, our Nigerian sister is doing it. But then I see this development here behind us, and like those people will not get sunlight in the middle, and people in that middle, that section.
Oh yeah.
Those people invested, they're not gonna get any sunlight, and somebody's buying this off plan.
Off plan.
That's right.
That's
on
true.
a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Somebody is told to buy this, and those people are not gonna have any sunlight in that canyon, if you will. And so so that's just one area, one reason I love this area. I get to come up and get perspective, if you will. But also I love the place. The people are great, and they have good food. And
let's talk about this. I think this is German owned. I think she's from Germany.
Is she German or Dutch?
Either one. I think Dutch, and she's been here for quite some time. Why do you love this place?
Yeah, I love this spot again because of the view, and I think they've done creative. I'm an urban planner and an urban designer.
Yes.
And so I love things that do creative uses of spaces. And so, you know, there are many nooks and crannies around Nairobi, and oftentimes I think people do copy paste.
Yeah. Tell us where we are.
We are at Unseen, and it's in Kilimani. It's just right here in the heart of Kilimani. We're in the co-op building at the junction of Wood and Arguings. And like I said, there's many people do just copy paste, but this lady saw something and she did something unconventional. She used the Nairobi beautiful weather, but 90% of the time it is very tempered and very, you know, loving and cool and so forth. And so she optimized this space, opened it up here. We're on the 12th floor. But in addition to just opening it up, she brought a small boutique theater here.
Oh.
Have you seen their theater?
I think I did.
Yeah,
I see the cinema. Yeah,
and it's just like
let's check it out.
Yeah, it's probably just a 60-seater.
Yeah,
and it's just again a unique
concept.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So she does a lot of independent films. A lot of independent films are shot here. Let's see if we can just pop in. Come on in. It's a great spot. A lot of independent films, a lot of independent movies are shot here.
And you can host?
Yeah, you can hire it.
Hire it as well. Yeah,
you can hire it. And so I've seen a lot of people hold parties here. I've seen BBC hosting, one-of-a-kind documentaries. I've seen, all sorts of films that you just won't find like in the traditional film setting. Mm-hmm. These are where you come and find your indie films. Mm-hmm. And then the crowd is like people also, people that are creative, that are really interesting. So the vibe is always, electric. You're not just going to, a commercial theater. Right? And so that's what one of the things I love about here. You can come and bring your drink in and all those sorts of things. Kind of, in the States, they have, I'm from Austin, so there's an Alamo Draft House. Is like one of those films where you can drink and, watch a movie, but it's kind of popular around the States now. But she's done a great job of using this space. I mean, who would have thought, such a small space, you could just turn this around to something.
No, this is nice.
Yeah.
And it has AC.
Yeah. She just turned it around to a space that's just, intimate and easy to use, and it's a contribution to the community.
To the community.
Yeah, people don't have to go far, or they don't have to go whatever. And I think she's done a great job.
It's quite affordable.
Yeah, it's very affordable. And so things like this, I just love people thinking more creatively in a business sense, and just looking at what are the gaps in society and around our community, and how we can bring those in. So.
You've been able to embed yourself, completely. You're Kenyan at this point. You're Kenyan African American.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I said in my speech, I'm African American born.
Yes.
Lua adopted.
Right.
No, DNA.
Yes.
Taita adopted, and East African at heart.
Yes.
Would you say that's the same for you?
No, totally. And I mean, not just in a hyperbolic way. I also got my citizenship last year.
Oh man!
So
congratulations, because I know that's a hard task to do. How did it feel? I'm jealous, girl. First, but how did it feel?
Oh man, it feels so awesome.
What did you do when you got your citizenship?
Girl, so I went to go get the paperwork. So they, finally get to, yes, your thing has been approved. Please come and get your whatever. And I'm used from the States. I'm thinking, oh,
it's gonna be a
ceremony.
Yeah, this big thing.
Girl,
now I'm Kenyan.
Girl, they're gonna. I went and dressed up. I said,
no, you didn't.
I am ready. I'm ready. You get there, and in the hallways of the immigration or whatever floor. Madam, sit out. You just sit in these chairs outside. Just sit out, and I'm sitting there with other people. I'm like, okay, they're gonna call us in eventually. Now I just see people one by one just coming out with these, brown envelopes. I'm like, okay.
No ceremony?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe it's coming later. So I go into the room and stamp here, do this, sign this, thumbprint this, that, and the other. And I'm like, and he's like, here you go, the certificate of citizenship.
Yeah.
I looked at him, I said,
Very Kenyan.
Surely. Well, what is this?
Allah.
Allah? Next.
No ceremony, to your surprise.
I said, hold on 1 second. And everybody is, immigration workers, head down, stacks of paper, this, that, and they're not thinking about me. I said, hold on 1 second in the room, everybody. The newest Kenyan is here.
I love that.
I just want to, Salamia, the latest Kenyan is in the house.
Yeah.
Girl, they died on the floor.
They were laughing?
I said, why Kenya?
Yes.
And they laughed.
I love it.
I said, this is a big thing.
It is.
I said, don't you want to ask me who the first president is? Don't you want to check my credentials?
Your credentials. Make sure you truly earn citizenship. Yes.
Don't you want to ask me, who's Dina Kamathi, who's so forth and so on? You just giving these things out?
No, you worked hard for it.
They laughed. And so the lady, she hands it to me. She says, we'll see you in 2027. I said, madam, you might see me on the ballot in 2027.
That part.
You won't just see me in line. You might be seeing me. You don't know who you just gave citizenship to.
Let's get into that a little bit. But before then, just so people know, because I think misinformation is out there in regards to citizenship. Okay. Right? We seen across Africa, Ghana, giving access to citizenship, I believe, through DNA. Sierra Leone, same thing. And there's people on this good internet line are saying Kenya giving out citizenship, and that's not the truth.
Oh, no.
How long did it take you to get citizenship? And you've been married for quite some time. Yeah. How long did it take?
I mean, it's almost a 7 year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
the 7 year.
It's a 7 year, and that's if you're diligent.
Hello? Right. Yeah. So I mean, we just want to kind of give perspective around it.
Yeah. Kenya's not at a point of it's not, but it doesn't need to necessarily give out.
Right.
That's right.
It doesn't. And you've been in the political realm, all of that. Yeah. In regards to the citizenship issue, and we'll go into something else. Yeah. I have a lot of people. We just launched the JBE with you were there. Yes. I don't want to cry, but thank you.
Was so beautiful.
I know.
Girl, I share that thing everywhere. I'm like, look at
you messed me up.
I know I did.
I was trying not to look at first. You made me laugh in the middle of my speech. Okay. Then I look over and you're in full on tears, and I'm like, I can't hold on to it. We finally got it. But
so beautiful.
being so involved, let's talk about the citizenship. Really, really kidogo. When I say, and correct me if I'm wrong, does Kenya need to give out free citizenship to us specifically?
No.
Why is that? And tell us from, you gonna get into detail and not emotional, but facts.
I don't think they need to give it to anyone.
No, they don't.
I mean, a country, has some sovereignty, over, looking to see, we have our own numbers of people that we're responsible for within our borders, people that are already born here, people that are, and so we're responsible for that. And then, we're welcoming. I mean, it's Karibuni, everybody is welcome, and people talk about Kenya's hospitality and so forth. But I think a country has a right, if you will, to look to see what are our numbers, if you will, that matches some of our strategic goals and things that we're trying to accomplish and achieve. And, and if a block of people think that they are going to be need some
concessions or
it needs a considerable justification for that.
Thank you.
It needs a considerable justification.
What does that mean?
So I mean, it could be in the financial. It can be some kind of structured place, if you will, that says, we see based on your
data.
Well, your data, but your national plan. You have a national development plan. I helped to develop that plan, Vision 2030, back in 2008. I helped to develop their M&E for that plan. And it said, what's our national vision? Where are we going? Where are our priorities? We said that we were going to have a 24-hour economy, 24/7 economy. They have to do, midterm, approvals on that. The country is coming up on a review of that plan because 2030 is just
3 years from now.
She's knocking, right?
Yeah.
And so we need to look to see where the things we talked about in 2008, are they still our priorities? How do they fit into the Africa plan of 2063, where we want to go and take this place? And so anybody that's coming, you need to be speaking the language of a national development plan. Where are they putting their priorities? So we've seen housing, we've seen education. So that's, and of course each president puts his own language about it, but it's still within the national vision
and agenda
development plan, right? And so if you're a block of people coming and you want to demonstrate your value add,
thank you,
right? You want to demonstrate your value add,
yes.
Then you get into those policy documents. You get into those where the gaps are and where they're trying to streamline efforts and where they want to steer things and say, you know what, I'm partnering with you on this one. I can take, as we say, I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. Yeah. I got 5
right,
on it. Yes.
I got 5 on that one. Yeah, put me in on this one, if you will. But I think some kind of, and that's what the, if you will, blocks of people that have come here, whether it's the Indian, that's right, whether it's the Indians or if it's the Israeli or the Brazilians or the Somali, they've gotten into the policies.
Let me ask you this really quick, just to I plug in the JBE really quick, because you've been here with me. You saw the announcement, you saw the endorsement. And how we're trying to align ourselves to exactly.
And then
what
I was
saying.
at the other one you did. Was it last year?
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, exactly.
You were there.
Yeah.
You were there. So you've been a part of the process and seeing.
Yeah.
In terms of the JBE, what do you foresee happening and the alignment with the 2030 vision? We've talked about that, and you've also said we need to be working on 2060, 2063, as you said before. But do you see the alignment, and do you understand how that is a structured kind of vertical where we can plug in, prove that added value, then ask for concessions? Did it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, it's totally. I mean, what I think that's what I was so moved by and touched by. The words that were, you hear the words coming out of my mouth?
Yeah, the words that was coming out of your mouth. Yeah.
That I was moved by is that, a seed planted hasn't gone fallow, if you will.
But still you rise, you guys.
Yeah, well, but a seed planted hasn't gone fallow, knowing or not knowing. A good idea, has been picked up and taken exceedingly, abundantly, more than we could have thought, hoped, or imagined, that you've been placed to go and run that race or continue that race. And it's really, really moving that our people and I say our people because, like you said, we are first Black nationals, we first Black Americans. Because that happened to be our lottery of where we plopped down on this earth.
Okay.
We could have plopped down anywhere.
Yeah.
That's just happens to be where we plopped down and where we made entry, if
right.
you will. And to see that our people have options. That we are, you know, I'm from Texas, and Southwest Airlines would say when you get up on the plane and the seatbelt light goes off, you're free to move about the plane.
Yep.
We're free to move about the world.
Yep. Yep.
We are free to move about the world. Now, you know, we did a migration from the South to Chicago.
We've done this already, right?
Exactly. And that was a big deal.
Big deal.
That was a big deal.
Big deal, yes.
Yeah. So we've done, but just like water, we're going to always find freedom. Okay? People are always searching for freedom. So we've done the South to the North.
Did.
And that was big, right? It moved families around. We started to have different relationships. What people here call shags, when you go to your upcountry, we got shags.
We got country.
Yeah,
I'm going to the country.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, we got shags.
Yeah.
Our roots, right?
Our roots.
Yeah, we got roots.
We do.
Yeah. I mean, I was raised in Texas, but baby, the day school closed every May, you want to know where my parents had me? But you better get to Kentucky. I holler at you in August.
Right. And I always ask people of our, I guess, tribe.
Yeah.
Where are you originally from?
Yeah.
Because to your point, really quick, we have done, you brought this up when we were talking, we've done this before the Great Migration between the 1930s onward, even the 1920s, moving from the South to the Midwest to the North and all of that. And that was really huge. So when you speak to somebody, I always now, like, no, where your people from?
Oh, completely.
And they end up saying, like you said, Kentucky, South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, the southern part of the state. So we've done this great migration before, but for what? Explain why we did that.
Economics. Yeah, for economics. And that's exactly, we did it for economics because in there was industrialization was coming, right? So people were moving for jobs. So you had Ford, you had you had all of these plants and assemblies and IBMs and this, that, and the others. There were jobs coming.
And different levels of freedom.
Oh, completely.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Completely.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you could say that economics gives you
a level of freedom.
Right, exactly.
Correct.
Right? Yeah,
You're
so
right.
you could say that economics does give you more choices.
You're right.
As they say. So if they may go hand in hand, right?
Yes,
they
you're
go
right.
hand in hand.
Yes.
So the industrialization, so forth. So people like, hey, I get, there's nothing here for me on the South if you know more. My existence is in threat, in danger.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
My existence is in danger
Yes.
here. My children, do I want this for my children and for my family? That their skin
generations
color,
to come.
That's right. That their skin color, right, is going to be strange fruit. You know,
not the Billy Holiday, my girl. Yes.
You know, that I want more for my people. I want more for my generation. And I got to make a move. I got to take a step now. Okay, so I'm coming. I gotta make a move here, and it's courageous, and just like when I moved, girl, my parents were like, "You doing what?"
Right.
What you say?
You're going where?
The what now?
And this was 20-something years ago.
Exactly. You're going to the who? What? Now, I can see if you said Honolulu. I can get a.
But you said what? Kenya, Africa. And it's not Kenya, it's Africa.
Yeah, oh, baby, my mama's still right. How's Africa?
Right. Yeah.
I have to ask all
people ask all the time.
I have to go ask all the 54 people in 54 countries, mama, and get back to you.
Yeah, because it is a continent, not a country.
I'm now teasing it.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is that, things happen in seasons and we elevate things. So this move now outside the U.S. is no less predicated on the same thing. Okay? It's no less predicated on the exact same thing. People are saying, I got options. Babe, don't leave me here in no box. I got options.
That part. That's all it is.
That's right. I got options. Let me rethink this. I'm not stuck or relegated to anything. I have options. My existence doesn't have to be a threat. It doesn't have to be bound to something. I got options, okay? And that brings us even greater options because we're in the digital age. Right? Greater options. So industrialization had us move and we were kind of pinned down to a geographical location.
That's a great
point.
But
in the digital age, you're
not. And it's not just Africa. I got something to ask you, and I'm asking her on camera. I haven't asked her in real life.
Yeah.
We're creating the JBE board.
Yeah.
Would you be a part of the board?
Girl, I'd be. Have me roll around this floor, and kick it, holler, and scream.
Yes, we need you on the board. We need you on the board.
Anytime.
So y'all just got that. I just asked her live on this great interview.
Anytime.
Ready to go get your food? Yeah. All right.
Cool.
All right. Welcome back to another Conversations in Culture, guys. I have another special guest, but as you already know, Conversations in Culture is to showcase the contributions of African Americans and Kenyans of the diaspora that have returned home and doing great work here in Nairobi, Kenya. So today I got a special guest. Can you please introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah, sure. My name is Robyn Emerson. I'm from Austin, Texas, and I've been living in Kenya going on a little bit over 20 years. I'm married here to a Kenyan. We have over a blended family of 7 children and 4 grandchildren, many godchildren and nieces and nephews.
All right.
And that's it.
All right. So before we get into the nitty gritty of things, right? Tell me a little bit about your background. Like you where you from? What shaped you to be where you are now? Tell me a little bit about your family.
Yeah, sure. So I come from a small, I think relatively small nuclear family. So it's just my mom and my dad and my younger sister. And my sister and I are 7 years apart. And I think, so I was born, my dad was in the Vietnam War.
Wow.
And so they were stationed in New Jersey. Their shags is Kentucky, so they're high school, city, neighborhood sweethearts, church mates. If you sweetheart, you know how you go to church and you see your little thing, your little boo, and you be like, oh, the little 2 families, and oh, y'all should be together. So that's kind of how they are as a couple. And then he was stationed in New Jersey, and in that stationing, that's where I was born. I ended up being born at a Army base in New Jersey. And
okay.
I was stationed on an Army base, and I know you're from the military. Also, it was Fort Mammoth in.
So he was
Fort
in.
Mammoth.
You said he was in the Army.
Yeah, he was in the Army, and so my dad actually somehow got word that my mom was due to deliver, like within a week or so, or something like that. And in a conversation with one of his commands, they arranged for him to get out
of the military.
He was due. He was getting close to.
Okay.
His time was getting close, and then something. He tells the story of something where the man was like figuring out some way of giving him a clue. Like, if you answer this appropriately, it can be a game changer for you.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so he got home in time for, I think I was born maybe 5 or 6 days after he got home. And we lived in New Jersey. I lived a whole 7 days in New Jersey.
Okay.
I got deep, deep roots.
Yeah, 7 days is a long time. Yes.
Baby, I know that place inside and out.
Right.
Not. And then we went back to their hometown in Lexington, Kentucky.
Lexington, Kentucky.
Yes, Lexington, Kentucky.
I went to Job Corps in Louisville.
Okay.
Or Simpsonville.
Yes.
Close to Louisville, but we would go to Lexington, Kentucky. We would go to Bowling Green.
Oh, wow. Bowling Green is really where a lot of even my great-grandparents and so forth in that area.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that many black folks.
Oh, yes.
When I got to, Louisville. And I stayed in Louisville if I say it right. Louisville.
Yeah, I'm
not
listening.
Louisville.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
I was there for 2 years from 17, 18 or 19, something like 18.
All right.
Yeah, so.
Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville. Then we went to Lexington and I was like, where all these black people come from?
Ma'am.
And Bowling Green was even worse.
Yeah, but all of that that's my hometown and my shag. So I was there until I was probably 6 years old. Okay. And then my dad got a job with IBM. So at that time, IBM was coming up, and he got a job at IBM, and they transferred him to Austin.
So Sound like you came from middle class blacks.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
How was it growing up, and once you got to Austin, again, growing up there, how did it shape you as a young adult, as a teenager, and then into a young adult?
Yeah. Oh man. It's, Austin, moving to Austin, this thing of upward mobility.
Yeah.
And what we call upward mobility and the sacrifices that we make. And I think we talk about that, somewhat when we look at people not just moving to another city or state in the U.S.,
yes,
but when we make those decisions to move even to another country for could go greener pastures, and different experiences for your family, and it's all a risk and a gamble, isn't it? Because you do come from a network, a community network that's already well established, especially when you have family and you have people, and you're in your same church group, and you're in all of the people you went to high school with. You've already built up this network. And then when you move to another place, and I suspect I'm stepping in my parents' shoes, because of course I was a child, but I've done it in my own adulthood, this dual mind about the moving and what you're going to leave behind and what you might find in the future. And so I think, my parents moving, and they took, my mom was a nurse. She worked in open heart surgery, nursing, critical care nursing, and all those sorts of things. So that's her, that was her profession. Wow. And I think it was, it was really a Bill Cosby environment, to be honest with you. It was my dad being an engineer and my mom being a nurse. It was really a Bill Cosby segment, and I got to watch the diligence and benefit from the diligence of moving to a house. And then you move to one house and get situated, and then you say, okay, now we're going to move to another house. We're going to now it's time for us to move to another house that's even more upward.
So you saw the upward mobility.
Yeah, the diligence and all of that sort of stuff. And there still are trade-offs at each stage that I think that my parents had to calculate and make that decision. So that upward mobility looked like moving to more white communities. Okay, right. And so that right. So you come on, you make those upward mobility, and you put you in another school environment, another school, school community, and so forth, and I struggled. I was Black Power before I knew of it.
Oh, wow.
I was down for the pound and for my people and loving my people. And I think that has been, they instilled that. So I'm not saying the move, they took that, but they instilled, Black pride and Black power and Black excellence and Black love and Black community, and Black churches and Black spiritualism, and
so you were very rooted in that.
I was very rooted, and I was very proud of it. And I was about to say I took it, but I don't know if I took it or it took me. You. Everywhere I moved, and so I'm saying that to say that when I got to high school and even junior high, and I was, 4 Blacks in a school in a class, I guess 8th grade, 9th grade, of 800 or 1,000 people, I think I shifted. I felt like I needed to explain myself to people. I needed to let you people know about me and my existence. I won't just be here flower walling, or what do you call wallflowering? And I think I started to feel like I needed to express myself. I needed to let y'all know, hey, there's a new sheriff in town.
There's a new sheriff in town. Yeah, I love that.
A new sheriff in town, and we about to move some furniture around here. We about to shift the agenda. So I think I've been, I've taken on that persona, if you will, in many other ways, and I think it still oftentimes leads me now. So that's what has shaped me a lot.
Okay, so let's get into your young adult. Let's talk about your career and school, because I know that led you here, your education, or furthering your education, right?
Well, that's down the road. So
Okay.
yeah, so I did go to high school. I finished at high school at that, but you know, by some pulling and pushing and this, that, and the other. And I was like, every day at this the school that I was registered in. I like to say that there was a school I was registered in. There's a school I attended.
Oh, okay. Tell me about that.
They were two different ones. I was registered at this one, but I attended.
You attended another one. Why? How did you
it was
do
still
that?
my draw to get back to the black school.
Did your parents know this?
Oh, girl, baby, they were like, so and so told us they saw you.
Oh my God!
What? Lord have mercy.
Okay.
So I was, going to this school. It was at that time, it was rural outside of Boston, real country, and this, that. I was like, but Mama, my people are over here. I'm gonna go over here to this black school and check them and see what they up to. I'd be showing up in their classes. They be like, what the hell?
How are you doing this? So did you eventually get registered?
No, I graduated from the one that I was registered in.
What? That's interesting. I've never heard that before.
Girl, they had neither. They were like, all right, Robyn, I need you to take this test. I need you to come back here. And so I finished high school, and then I went to Southern University, HBCU, in Baton Rouge, and did that. And in all of this mixing and finding myself and what the discovery was of who I am, what it is to be somebody who is in with the in crowd and all of this sorts of stuff. I mean, I was Miss Austin, Youth Austin. I was over the church leadership program. I was doing all
these
this
leadership roles.
Oh, I was
always been a leader.
It's been there as a opportunity for the taking, and I thank the community for creating those opportunities. I mean, you have your oratory skills get developed, your being with others and making things happen and discovering things. I'm so grateful for all the elders who saw fit to create those kind of structures for us to be a part of. But even inside of that, I got pregnant as a teenager.
Okay.
So I got pregnant, and I had my first daughter when I was 19. So if I had her when I was 19, I guess I got pregnant. I was like 18.
18, okay.
Do the math.
How was that for your parents?
Woo, girlfriend.
Yeah.
Baby. Whoa. So I was, so I went to, and this is when I was in college. So I went to Southern University, did my freshman year. I was in pre-med.
Okay.
I was in the pre-med program, doing all of its pre-medding. And came home my freshman summer and caught eyes of somebody. Me and my girlfriends went out looking like In Vogue or something.
Yeah.
We're like, what? And caught my eyes to somebody that was like so tall, dark, and handsome.
Right.
I was like, oh, that's nice. And baby, all it takes is one time.
Yeah, okay, that's what happened.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I think we just dated like, yeah, it's going to be nice.
This is going to be nice.
We only dated like, I don't even know if it called it a date. But I got pregnant, and then I went back I didn't know I was pregnant. I went back to school, to Southern, my sophomore year. Did a whole first semester of my sophomore year in pre-med studies. And then something happened, baby. I was like, wait a minute, something ain't she ain't coming. Right. So anyhow, we determined that I was pregnant. And I called my parents on the phone from Baton Rouge and told them. And then my dad had to come and pick me up, and that was the longest drive.
Oh my God.
Ever. I think I can't even imagine. My dad came and got me with a friend of his. And that was the longest drive ever in the back seat of that. I was so
Were you
upset.
scared?
Yeah, scared, disappointed with myself. I think I disappointed my parents. Oh, I was so afraid. So then I came back to my childhood bedroom.
Okay.
And started working for the state of Texas.
Look at the stadium.
Yeah, the stadium is coming. Started working for the state of Texas, the general land office. Again, somebody in the community who had raised me up and didn't let me go.
Wow.
And said, well, baby, come here and you can, the saying in our community is the post office always got a job.
Yeah.
Really government.
Uh-huh.
So they said, here, come and because you're going to need insurance, you're going to need all of those things.
Yeah, you having a baby.
That's right. All your running around days are OVER.
Right. You got to live for these babies.
That's right. So that's, so I did that we're talking 90, 91. I, worked at this governmental agency, raising my child, it was a political governmental agency, so the commissioner was an elected official, so I did a lot of politics. I worked on Jackson's campaign, I worked on Ann Richards' campaign, I worked a lot in that sphere, and still my leadership and wanted to make a difference, I think always kind of like, okay, I can do that. And then I finished and went and finished my bachelor's degree at another historical college there in Austin, historically black college in Austin. So I went there at night, took me and my child, we sat in those classes.
Wow.
At night, finished that, and that was my first degree. And then 10 years later, somebody came and asked me if I wanted to come and do a master's.
Okay.
And because I was doing political work and community work, and somebody said, have you heard of urban planning? I said, no, I ain't heard of no urban planning. What the heck is that? They were like, it's what you are doing. It's all the organizing you're doing. It's all the getting communities together. It's bringing people to think about their future and how they want to see it organized. It's exactly what you are doing. You do know you can go and there's a field of discipline for this. You could go and get refine your skills in this and go build a profession on it.
Wow.
I was like, hey,
okay,
that sounds interesting.
Okay. So then let's talk about school. Let's talk about college. Let's talk about how you got to Kenya. Yeah. Wow. So many entry points there. Yeah.
So many entry points. So, let me see. Well, how did even Kenya get on the? Yeah, I mean, on the radar. I mean, I wasn't a Pan-Africanist. All my work was Black American. Black nationalism. Yeah, exactly. Black American. It wasn't even. I wasn't like the Africans, and I got to get to the African people. I was never on that plane, or my world hadn't even expanded to that. But in 98, I got married to somebody I thought I needed to get married to justify all my mistakes. I needed someone to justify that I had made it, got my degree, I had done this, that, and the other, and somebody with a higher learning and higher education showed interest in me, and I said, I think I need to latch onto this. Okay. Love was not there. None of that was there. And we got married and moved to Oregon. And he walked out. Yeah, he walked out 11 months later and said, I don't want to be a step parent. Oh. He said, I've tried this like a shoe. I tried the shoe, it didn't fit. Wow. And he left. And me and my two daughters at that time, by then, were in Oregon. I was devastated. I was like, what? Yes, what? Yes. I was devastated. And so it was at that time I was about to move back to Austin. I said, I need to go back home. I need to go back to my people. But somebody I was working for the governor in his campaign, even in Oregon. And his wife said, Robyn, I can see you have something that you're committed to. And there keeps to be these different stumbling blocks, or you stumping your toe at different times. And I think taking this course called the Landmark Forum, I think would help you to see what is in the way of, you making the difference in life you want to make, or the impact. I said, great, baby, I'll do anything at this point. I done tried this, I done tried that. So when I moved back to Austin in 2000, I took this course, and that course is what put the world on an option. It opened up the limitations that I had even
placed on
prescribed. That's
yourself.
right. Yeah, exactly. Beliefs, limitations. I had subscribed to cultural whatevers, how it's got to look. Baby, I was able to throw all of that out the window. And so there is no holds bar here. There is no life that is not possible. There is no relationship, job, this, that, and the other, doing stuff that I can't possibly explore or do. I mean, everything out, and I walked out of that class, out of that program. It was a 3-day program. Everything was turned on its head. So in high school, I was a sprinter. I did high school in track and field. I was a sprinter. Did 100s, 200s, and then the relays and this, that, and the other. I thought that was my limit. That's all I could do.
Yep.
You are a sprinter, Robyn. That's it. I would watch people.
There's nothing outside of that.
I would watch the people do cross country and even laugh at them. Oh, kick. Oh, look at y'all little cute people running out there forever. Why? Do your little 100 sprinting and
be
call
done.
it a day.
Uh-huh.
Girl, I said, wait a minute. Why? Why do I think I can't run past 400 meters? Like with my legs shut down, with my with my butt. Like, what is the perception I really operated here? Girl, after I did that course, I ran a marathon. I went out the next day and signed up to train for a marathon. I was like, oh, well, let me go test this thing out.
Right.
Girl, I was there every day. Okay, I've done a 6K. I've done a, what? Am I out here on 42, whatever? So I've done probably 10 marathons since then, and I just did a triathlon 3 months ago, 4 months ago. So that's just one way that, so that put me on, again, what else can I do? Where else can I go?
Yeah.
What else is possible? What else can I get into? And one of them, after 9/11, when was 9/11? 2001?
2001.
Yeah. After 9/11, I was actually in the car like this. I was driving my children to school, listening to the radio that morning, and they were 9 and 10, and 10 and 9 or something like that. Driving them to school, and I'm listening to, and they're talking about this has just happened. Towers, the planes going into the towers, this, that, and the other. I'm like in complete shock and sobbing, and tell them turn the radio off because I don't want to traumatize my children. But I'm just like, what the heck? And
I thought the world was over.
Girl, it was like, what? And I dropped them off, and I went into the school, and I went to tell the teacher because I don't think they knew at that time. It was, I said, hey, something is happening. You might want to keep close tabs to the news. This future, that the future we're going into, it's going to be handled by these children today. Whatever the resolve of this, it's going to be handled by these children today. Our children need to go hear what the world thinks of them. Our children need to go hear it. So 2 years later, I started a global educational program in Austin, where every week I was in elementary schools, you can call them primary. Every week I was in elementary schools teaching global citizen education to elementary students, about 2,000 a week, talking about what the world is like and what's happening out there. And then in 2003, I think, same year or a year later, I started taking actual teenagers on trips around the world as a listening tours, I say.
Wow.
Go and listen to what the world thinks about you as an American.
Okay.
Go and hear what they're saying about you. I went to Senegal, to Mexico, Brazil, different places. Those parents entrusted me to take these children to go and listen.
And you were young yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
We immersed ourselves. We didn't stay here. So even where we are right now, this was my road trip every day. I lived out here in Gong for my first early years. I hadn't even known that Yaya area.
Okay.
And we went and listened, and we stayed at a friend, because I was on the board of a school out there in Lower Matasia down in Gong. And we just listened. What did they think about you as an American? I mean, in Senegal, one time, it was so funny. We were, we were going into a club. And, you know, as Americans, we have a swagger. It's the way that we walk and talk. We can be spot. You know, we think we're incognito. People can spot us a mile away. So, and of course, all the children I had, they were Rainbow Coalition. So
okay.
And also, you know, so we go into a club and they were like, "Those are Bush's people." Yeah, exactly. I said, "Y'all hear that?"
He was a hoot.
But I wanted them to hear, no matter what you think you are, your leadership represents you. Okay? Whatever you think you are, or whatever your own political, whatever, your leadership and what's coming out of your leadership, their mouth, whatever that leadership is doing or saying, it speaks volumes around the world. And so, yeah, you're exactly right. We are Bush's people. He's our president.
Right.
No lies spoken, right?
None.
No lies spoken. So Kenya was one of those trips. So that was what brought me the first time to Kenya.
So you were bringing students here, and then how did we get settled into Kenya to where now we've been here 20 years, and we'll get into what you've done career-wise here.
So after we sat, you know, and immersed, and I did take children back, and then I still do some community work. I need to do, because I was doing some consulting. I need to do some community work and finish some work there. And then somebody asked me to come into this graduate program, and I did that and started that. But I told them the work that I'm doing in y'all's curriculum, called Community and Regional Planning at the University of Texas, I want to base mine on Kenya.
Okay.
My work is not going to be Colorado, right?
You want to do it here in Kenya?
Yeah, my work is not going to be, based on a local. I want to bring it into an international and an African context, whatever I'm studying. So I need us to expand our curriculum and so forth. So that's then why I said I need to come back and be on the ground so I can continue that contextual study work, if you will. And they said, okay, great. And then I wrote to the minister of, at that time, it was during Kibaki.
Under Kibaki. Yeah. That's when I started coming.
Okay. And we had 42 ministries at that time. Yeah, so people like, so when people chuckle about and talk about a bloated government under
42
devolution,
ministries is crazy.
Well, people talk about 47 counties.
47 counties, yes.
I'm like, shoot, anybody remember 42 ministries? That was insane. So I worked on. I worked in the. At that time, it was after the PEV, the post-election violence. And I worked
in 07.
So it started from 08 when they did their reconciliation and so forth. That's when they were coming up with this national Vision 2030 plan. Right. So I worked with in the secretariat, the directorate of Vision 2030. And as we were setting up the vision and developing a monitoring and evaluation tool that would go alongside that Vision 2030. So I worked in that directorate and setting that up and going and training all of the different new ministries on how their ministry can line up to the fulfillment of this vision plan, and what are the indicators for that ministry, and how do y'all know if you're fulfilling and delivering inside of that. So that's one thing these are things that kind of deepen my participation and stay in Kenya. So I did that for a couple of years, and all this time I'm going back and forth. Me and my children going back and forth 2 or 3 months, 6 months back and forth. So that because I was homeschooling. I was homeschooling my girls, so we were in school.
So you had that flexibility.
Yes, had that flexibility. We were going back and forth and. They would study, and and I would come here, and we'd have to, if there's a test, because baby, then it was like, internet was like, woo.
Right.
What? Dial up here.
Still had this.
Yeah, it was horrible.
The dial-up.
Yes, you have to. Oh,
yeah.
Girl, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Man. So, and then after that, I think so. My children then graduated from high school.
Here or
back in the States?
In the States,
So I graduated from high school back in the States. I think 2010 or something like that, or 11, and then they got them settled in school, and I said, well, I'm not going back and forth anymore. You know, I will stay here. And what did I start doing at 2010? Yeah, so I all this time I was leading landmark programs also. So this course, I made a commitment after I took that course and the difference it made for me and those distinctions and so forth. I said, this is not just for me. I said, this is going to liberate a people. When people can get an access to what it is to actually be free and what it is to actually live a life that you want by your own design. You know, this is not for me to keep to myself. So I got trained to be a program leader, and I'm one of only 2 program leaders in Africa that leads this course to people all across Africa. And I've been doing this in Africa. Well, I've been doing it in Austin and here since 2003. But I'm one of the main program leaders that leads these distinctions, and people can take on things in life they've been, afraid to do or take on. And so when I'm coaching them, I get it for myself. And so in 2010, I started to lead another new program under Landmark also. And that program has people create different projects. And so it's amazing. A lot of projects you see today come through that work. We see a lot of projects of people that have sat in that program and created it through their participation. So I get to see a lot of nice programs that are around and be like, I know the origin of that. I know what that person went through. Yeah, exactly. I know what they took to create that program. So that's how it kind of got deeper. And there's, and then it really just from there, it has been no looking back.
So, you started a foundation 12 years ago. Tell me a little bit about that and why you created that, because you're in urban development, real estate, and you've been teaching people about that, right? You've also have written a few books, but I went to one of the recent books that you all have in the stores here. You could tell us about that.
Sure.
Yeah.
So thanks for coming to, we wrote with my partner, my colleague, Emma, we wrote this book in 2019. And I can kind of, one of the things, so when I was the CEO for Kenya Property Developers Association. That's the largest association of developers. All of this that you see, they have to be, when we see these buildings, private developers, and there's ways that that's supposed to be done.
Right.
And people have been lobbying for what are the best practices, if it's tax incentives, if it's, all of those things as a collective, seeing that developers provide such a huge contribution to Kenya's GDP.
Correct.
But also, this is where life is happening in Kenya. There's nothing happening. Our schools, government, it's happening in a building somewhere.
Yeah.
Somebody built it. So it was in its early days of formation, and I took that on and transformed its purpose and its role, and trying to have developers see their role. You're not just profiteering. You actually are contributing something to society. Can we do it well? Can we do it sustainable, in a sustainable fashion? But while we were doing that, we were finding gaps, if you will, in regards to the how-tos. How do you actually develop? What are these policies and so forth and so on? Typically, they're like found behind a governmental building, and if you've been one to a governmental building, baby, you just have stacks and stacks of papers. And I'd be like, how can y'all find anything? They'd be like, hold on one second, I'll be right back. What? How in the heck are you finding anything in all of this mess? So my girlfriend and I, she was the vice president of the Architectural Association, while we would be lobbying and doing advocacy to the government and the national government, county government and the national government, even they wouldn't know information. It would be conflicting information coming out of their mouths, conflicting information coming out of the experts, conflicting information coming out of academia. My girlfriend and I say, you know what, this breeds, and it's a breeding ground for corruption, it's a breeding ground for confusion, it's a breeding ground for mishaps. It's just a breeding ground for everything that we don't need. So we went and developed and gathered all of that information and made it open source. And we said, listen, this is for the purview of everybody.
So everybody's on the same page.
That's right. Yes, this doesn't need to be a secret. It doesn't need to be hidden under a bushel. It needs to be open source and plain read for everybody. So that's what we did in 2019. And then, and it's been in several bookstores across Kenya and across the nation. We just had not been able to crack the nut in getting into the largest bookstore, because they kept saying there's no audience for it. Now, we had already sold nearly 2,000 books on our own.
Oh, wow.
We've been on the bestsellers list, in several different people for several years, but that bookstore couldn't see the need of having it in their bookstore. It wasn't a novel, it wasn't a Novotella, it wasn't it wasn't any hot and sexy content in it. It was very boring procedure. People will have to question, where have you, sentenced yourself? Where have you sentenced yourself? It said, clunk, do not.
Wow.
Do not do that. Do not go there. Do not say this. And people have to be challenged on their own business.
All right.
And may they be challenged and say, hold on one second. This is a backwards ass mindset.
Y'all heard it. As we close out, tell us a few of your projects that you're working on right now, and also leave us with some advice or encouragement for people who are watching right now.
Well, right now I'm my expertise, if you will. I actually, even in urban planning and in community building, really all of my work is so that people can see their rights to the city or their rights to whatever space that they're in. So I do civic educational programs. It's like in the States, all the major cities have this city program, Leadership Lexington, Leadership Dallas, Leadership New York, Leadership San Francisco. So I founded and run Leadership Nairobi. And so we take leaders across Nairobi in this 8-month program and have them get up under how Nairobi functions and operates, where they can put their knobs and get their hands on the knobs and the levers that effectively transforms this city, where they can be knowledgeable and effective. So that's one thing that I'm up to and very excited about. It's just in a new cohort that just started, and we'll finish this cohort probably in May. Another thing I'm doing is, because there's a gap in how public participation is done in Kenya. It's in the Constitution. They even have guidelines for it, but the how-to, the spirit, the actual effectiveness of it, it's so shallow. There's the information doesn't get to people in a useful time. So I've now talking with the university, and we're actually setting up a curriculum and a center at a university where I'm actually now training people on how to do this, how to make, because now the many developments have been struck down because there's a technicality that says you have not sufficiently done this part. The people have not participated and said, is this what they want, how they want. So many millions and billions of shillings are being just have to go sit, because they need to backtrack and come back to a step that they overlooked or they took for granted, that people would just put up with boilerplate or ticking some box. People are using the Constitution as they rightly should and saying, no, that's not it. That's right. And so I'm excited about that center. Hopefully it'll be up in the next quarter or so, and I'm excited and nervous.
I'm excited for you.
Girl, I'm kind of like, oh, Lord have mercy.
We'll hold each other hands.
Amen. So that's just a couple of them, and I got other projects and consultancy and stuff, But that's it. I'm about to celebrate our 10th anniversary, our wedding anniversary. With
Oh,
my wonderful
wow.
husband,
Yes.
who I love and adore, and he loves and adores me, right?
Yes.
And yeah, that's really
Great.
what's going on.
Absolutely. So how can we get in touch with you?
Yeah, well, I'm on I think all the platforms at Austex, so I'm never leaving Austin behind. So AUSTEX anywhere. You can find me anywhere, Austex anywhere. So there's that, and I think that's probably just the easiest, and we can connect there.
Connect
anytime.
there.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And then what'd you say was the other
Lastly,
thing? Yeah.
encouraging words for those who are watching, who may be considering wanting to get out of that box. You said that sentence.
Yeah, that's right. Let me say this. You know, we had Thanksgiving.
We did. We had a ball.
We had Thanksgiving.
We
lunch
did Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And I shared the picture with my daughter, the one that's coming in next week. And she looked at it. She said, "Mommy, is that the lady on
on YouTube?"
Yeah. I said, yeah, that's her. She said, "I've been watching her videos and I've been saying, her and Mommy should meet."
Yeah. And
like,
lo and behold, we've been knowing each other for like at least 2 years. Yeah.
I've been meaning to tell Mommy to see if she can find her. I said, "You're right, baby. You knew Mama would connect with that one, with Kia." I'm saying that to say that encouraging, if something sparks in you, you know, if something piques your interest, you know, allow it to lead you somewhere. Allow it to, you know, be of a consideration, and step outside of, you know, people. When I came here for the first time, my parents were even wondering, where is Kenya? They thought that I had lost my marbles. But now what is so beautiful, it is in our everyday lexicon, talking about traveling outside of the U.S. for a lifestyle, for a relocation. And that is so beautiful for our people, that we can move beyond the confines and the limitations. So I just encourage, I don't care if it's, Kenya is great.
Yep,
but
anywhere.
I'm seeing people everywhere.
Mexico, Thailand,
Portugal,
Central
wherever,
America, South America.
Just go and
wherever.
Dip your toe in it as you know, an experience. You know, I spent last year almost a year in Asia Pacific.
Wow, yeah.
I lived in Korea for work. I lived in Korea. I lived in Thailand, all of these places, and I said, golly, there's a lot happening out here. Golly,
in the world.
There's a lot going on. Golly, you know, that I am one with these people. I don't need to fight these people. I don't need to put them down to lift me up. There is no scarcity in the world. There's enough here for all of us. And so, as Mark Twain said about what travel does and what it provides and what it opens up, it's not a cliche. It so opens up the whole world to say, you know, I'm a part of this. If I'm here, I'm a part of it.
Yeah.
There's a spot carved out for me here, and let me get out here and go enjoy it. That's all I would say.
Thank you so much for allowing us to interview you here on Conversations of Culture.
I'm sorry.
If you're watching, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. You're not going to get any interviews like this anywhere else except on Traverze Culture. I have another special guest here that I want him to say hi. Xavier, can you say hi to the audience, please? That is my son, guys. He's here in Kenya for the first time. I never brought him in the last 14 years I've been coming here. A little intentional, because I wanted him to be able to really take it all in, see the country that I've fallen in love with. And I know that he'll love it too. So again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.